During our trip around Australia, we saw a lot of big signs by the highways and even in national parks that said 1080 poison risk. To figure out what this was all about, I caught up with Dr. John Woinarski, who's a conservation biologist who's been studying threatened animals in Australia for over 40 years. Hopefully he can tell us a little bit more.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, John. So can you tell me why we're dropping poisoned meatballs into the outback?
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing to do, but we're actually trying to maintain threatened species. The feral cat in Australia has been one of the most destructive agents imaginable. So 99.6% of Australia has feral cats in it at the moment. It's just outrageous. There's probably between 5 and 10 million of them. Each one eats about 4 or 5 native animal species per day or night. And that if you add up the sums, that's extraordinary devastation. We think that feral cats have contributed primarily to the extinction of about 20 to 30 of Australia's mammal species. Nowhere else in the world has had that degree of extinctions.
So what's the next step? What are various organizations doing to help stop this?
Yeah, look, it's a real struggle to try to maintain Australian wildlife. It's almost impossible to take away from the environment something which is now really pervasive in it. Awkwardly, we're left with the last resort, which is to put up fences in mainland Australia, put in threatened animal species and make sure that cats are eradicated from inside that fenced area. There hasn't been a degree of outrage, I think, amongst most Australian community. Almost half of the Australian terrestrial endemic mammal fauna is in serious trouble or has gone already. So it's largely about building up community empathy with our natural environment and a sense of responsibility to it. It's also about making sure that we do control our pets. If we are keeping cats, that we should make sure that they're not allowed to roam free at night, for example. There are many species in Australia which have come back from the brink of extinction because of the effort that individuals and individual conservation groups have put into it. It's really important to have those successes.
We all need to do our part. We all need to be aware of the situation because, as John said, without public support and public awareness, these conservation efforts are totally useless. We need to care about the wildlife if we're ever going to be able to protect it. So if you're lucky enough to live in Australia and you can go see all these unique animals, you should get up and go outside and enjoy them while they're still here.